Debo, you gonna get in the video this time? You getting in the video this time, boy? Oh my goodness. All right. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Question Aggression with me, AJ from Nervous Aggression. So sometimes what I like to do for this channel, little insider secret, I'm sure you guys aren't stupid, I like to record a couple videos in a night, as long as I'm feeling the energy and stuff like that. So that way, like, all I have to do is like edit them, and then I have time to like release them and time the releases and stuff. It just makes shit easier for me with a whole life going on. And I meant to record this one the other night, but I just didn't have the energy. I recorded the other one like 5 fucking times. I'm sure you could see me dragging a little bit in that one. That was really exhausting. It was bittersweet because, you know, like, I haven't recorded stuff in a while, so like it really helped me like kind of warm up for it. But at the same time, I was just like, I really had to push through that one a little bit. So this is a topic I've thought about doing for quite a while now. This is something that like, all right. Go. He won't jump up here, but he won't stop being a menace. All right, so this is a video. This is a topic that I've been wanting to cover for quite a while. This is something that like, you know, maybe I need to go back and watch after I edit it. But this is something, especially when I was younger, I had no concept of. I wasn't thinking about it. But now that I'm getting older, I am getting a little more conscious of these things. I am getting a little more self-aware on these things. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. So this one is, originally I was gonna say like tips for hardcore singers, but I think if you're any kind of a singer, you can take something from this. But I'm a hardcore singer, so I'm gonna call it tips for hardcore singer. So tips for singers, hardcore singers, younger singers, older singers, red singers, yellow singers, blue singers. Let's start the freaking video. Let's go! All right, so like I said in the intro, some of these kind of are, because it's my perspective, geared more towards hardcore singers. But, you know, just take from it what you will, even if you're not in a hardcore band. No matter what you're singing, this is geared absolutely towards vocalists, though, of any kind. So this first tip is actually, in my opinion, mandatory for hardcore. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. That's my opinion. This is mandatory for hardcore singers. Tip number 1, lyrics overall. I want my fucking friends back! So hardcore obviously is a style of music that has its own sound. You can kind of pick it out of a lineup. Some people have trouble describing it. Me, I would say it's a little slower yet more aggressive punk rock. Some of the riffs are even faster and thrashier, but the breakdowns, the lyrics, everything like that, you know, it just hits a little deeper. It's almost like punk matured in a way. And with punk music, with hardcore music, your lyrics have to fucking matter. I mean, watch, after I fucking am editing this, I'm gonna think of some hardcore band that has goofy ass lyrics that I absolutely love. I'm looking at you, Gwar. I don't know if Gwar's really hardcore though, so whatever. But in my opinion, lyrics have to mean something, and they have to like resonate with your audience. It's kind of, you know, I've said it before, but like hardcore is kind of like its own community that like we're kind of made up of a bunch of broken people in a bunch of different ways. And we all are looking for meaning, searching for meaning both in life and in music. Hold on a second. Debo! What you doing, boy? Get out of there. This fucking guy. Step, swap. I leave my fucking bathroom open for 10 minutes. Look what this dude does. He's eating toilet paper, this fucking freak. Anyway, lyrics have to be fucking important. They have to mean something. You can't just go out there and be like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, I got a big dick or whatever. Like, it's gotta mean something. It's gotta come from the heart. I mean, I'm not really trying to tell you what exactly to write, but to me, what hardcore means is lyrics over everything. That's the biggest reason I think I'm a singer, other than the fact that I was the only dude who would fucking do it when I was starting a band. I've been obsessed with lyrics and lyricism since I got into music. The reason I love hardcore so much is because the lyrics generally always mean something. You don't have to like be preachy and have like political opinions. As a matter of fact, I find it a little corny if all your lyrics are about politics. Like yo, is your entire personality about politics? That shit's a little cornball to me. Honestly, a little red flaggy too. I'm looking at you, anti-flag. But anyway, lyrics, just at least put some fucking thought into what you're writing, because a lot of people, especially people that are younger than you, are gonna look at your lyrics and take them so fucking seriously and take them to heart. So make sure that it's like, there's something of substance in there. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to the fan base to fucking be meaningful. Don't be one of those bands that's too afraid to take themselves seriously, so you're a fucking joke band. I mean, if that's what you want to do, fucking go for it. I don't run the scene, but like for me personally, it's okay to be serious sometimes. All right, so point number 2 is something that like, this is a point that I try to get better at all the time. This is a point that I think is hard for a lot of people, and this goes for all types of singers. Your body is your instrument. Take care of it. So, you got 2 guitars, right? One of them, you know, you polish every week. You change the strings as needed. I don't know, like maybe once every 6 weeks or so. You play it all the time. You put it back carefully in its case. Anytime something starts to go a little funky on it, you either have the knowledge and repair it yourself, or you take it to someone who has the knowledge, you have them repair it for you. And then you got another guitar that you just kind of like sit and lean against the wall, pick it up whenever. Haven't changed the strings since you bought the damn thing. Eat fucking greasy ass pizza or fucking chicken wings or whatever and pick it up and play it and put it down and not think about it. Which one of those guitars is gonna sound better for longer? Obviously the first one that's being taken better care of, right? Same thing with your body. You know, again, I say it all the time, I'm not a fucking health expert. I don't think I have to keep reminding you guys. I know I'm fucking super buff and jacked and ripped. But I'm sure at this point I don't have to keep reminding you guys that like I'm not a fitness model. But I do take care of myself. I do exercise pretty regularly. Most of what I eat, believe it or not, is actually clean. I go way too hard on the booze on the weekends. That's what's keeping me fat, genuinely. I mean, like, you know, I eat some shit here and there too. But for the most part, you know, I drink really hard when I don't have anything going on, when I'm not going anywhere, and I'm with friends and stuff. I go pretty goddamn hard on the booze. Should I do that? Fuck no. Would I be a better singer if I didn't do that? Fuck yeah. But that's kind of the whole meaning behind this point, is if I took better care of myself, I would be better. You know what made me jump like fucking 5 years of progress in like 6 months? When I quit smoking cigarettes. I used to chain smoke, man. I used to smoke about, on average, I'd say about 1.5 packs a day. If I was partying, it was at least 2 packs. There's been a few times I smoked more than 2 packs in a 24-hour period, like a little more, not like a whole nother pack. You know, I was a chain smoker. If I was sitting on my ass at home doing nothing all day, I would rip through at least 30 cigarettes. When I was out doing shit, it would be more. 6 months after I quit smoking cigarettes, we went into the studio, we recorded some shit. I don't even know if it ended up being released. But I remember hearing my voice on the playback, and I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Like, I always knew it would help. It became a lot easier for me to sing. Actually, I described it as it was like I grew a 3rd lung. But hearing it on playback, I mean, I don't love the sound of my own voice, nobody does, but like I was a little shook, man. Like, wow, man, I spent all that fucking time chain smoking for what? Look at how much better I got. What do you think's gonna happen if I quit drinking? Probably the same fucking thing. So if you're aspiring to be a singer and you sit on your ass drinking pop all day and you're fucking smoking your fucking Juul or whatever you kids got these days, you're not really exercising, you're not really doing shit, and then you get up on the mic and you're like, yeah, you know, I'm good. Just imagine how much better you're gonna be without those things. Fucking give it up. You're better than that. If I can quit, you can too. If other people can, why can't you? Do better for yourself. If not for just being a singer, for your fucking life and longevity. This next point is actually, it was something that came really natural to me, and it's something that I see a lot of people struggle with. It's natural for some people, but for others, you know, they really struggle with this next one. And it's a really important one. You know, again, this goes back to like, no matter what kind of music you're doing, stare down the barrel of the fucking stage. So the best way I can put this, obviously, is with a little anecdote. Little story time. One time, years and years ago, I played a show in, I think, Alliance, Ohio. I don't remember what this band was called. And their singer was like, so fucking good. He had this incredible voice. Like, he wasn't screaming or nothing. It wasn't a hardcore band. But god damn, this dude's voice was incredible. Like, I was blown away, like how good this guy was and how small of a place we were playing. Like, holy shit, like this dude's good. But that band never really went anywhere and didn't really do anything. And all the rest of the band were solid fucking players. Like, they were, they weren't melting faces or nothing, but they were, playing interesting, good riffs, They were in time, in tune with each other. Chemistry was on point. Everything was great. They were a really good band. But the fucking singer, man, he was so nervous the whole time. You could see it in his demeanor. His whole stage presence just wasn't there. He was standing there, you know, gripping his water bottle. You could see him shaking a little bit, swaying back and forth, wouldn't really look at the crowd, wouldn't really address us too much, like in between songs. You know, not that doesn't make him a bad person or nothing like that. Like, social anxiety is real. Like, I fucking have a little bit of it, but, you know, you can't let that be you. Like, you can't let that shit win. You have to fight back. Like, you can see all the psychologists and take all the medications in the world. That ain't gonna do shit for you until you fight it back. You pull your own self from within and fight back. You know, one thing I like to do, this is more for like timing moves, especially with newer songs. I generally do this, but maybe this would help for people who do struggle a little bit with like, I wanna be a singer so bad, but I get so nervous when I get up there. It's okay. You know, I jumped off the fucking porch at 15, literally knees shaking before I went up. First time I went up and played in front of people, I was like, all right, motherfucker, da da da. And I just like went into it. I'm very lucky to have like just had that in me, you know? I didn't really have to work on it. But one thing you probably can do, and this is something I like to do at a lot of practices, is pretend like we'll all face the same way. We'll kind of pretend we're playing in front of people. Normally I just do that, like we got a lot of new material now, so I do that because like I have different moves I like to do and different jump actions and stuff that cues everybody, and it helps keep us kind of in time. So I mostly do that with just newer songs, and it also like helps me like get the timing down of my jumps and like throwing my fists with the song. Maybe it would be a good idea for you if you're struggling with that, if you're struggling to like play in front of people, to do the same thing, act like there's a crowd there. And then maybe over some time, you know, have some close friends, some people that know you, come over and watch your practice. And then maybe start making a point of having them invite friends that you don't really know so well, like you trust them enough to have them come over. Maybe you don't know them so well, maybe you do get a little nervous. I'll tell you this, when I'm playing in front of people in the practice room and it's like someone I don't really know, I get way more nervous than you would think for just that. I mean, like I still do it, we pull it off, it's fine, whatever. But like that actually makes me like damn near show nervous. And I still get nervous before almost every show we play. You know, people, I'll talk to some of my friends and stuff like that before we go on, and I'll tell them how nervous I am. They're like, yeah, like, you of all, again, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but if you've seen us, you know what kind of show we're putting on, what kind of stage presence I have. And a lot of people are like, damn, dude, I didn't think you ever got nervous. Like, holy shit. And yeah, every fucking time. I get a little queasy, man. So it's okay if you're nervous, but you gotta face the fucking storm. Put on a show. Be that motherfucker up there. Put on a goddamn show. All right, so this point's very like take it or leave it, you know. This is more of my personal opinion on things. But if you're not that dude, don't try to put on the persona of your Mr. fucking Hardo. So, like I've mentioned in other videos before, that like, you know, I've played with bands like crew bands, like legit face tattoos, felonies, tough guys. I know who the fuck's tough and I know who the fuck isn't. I've also played shows with bands that are not tough guys, but goddamn, they want to be so bad. Maybe it's because they're playing hardcore music, they think they have to be a hard ass. You know, I'm not a tough guy. I don't claim to be. I've gotten in my share of fights, okay? I hope to God I never get into another fight outside. You know, I train a little bit. I'll spar, shit like that. That's not what I mean, like actual street fights. I hope I don't have another one, you know? I have some pretty, you know, I think I could twist them into interesting fight stories. Hell, I could probably make a whole video about it. But I'm not that guy, man. I'm not Mr. Tough Guy. I don't want to fight people. I will fight people if I feel like I have to. If push comes to shove, I'll fucking swing on anybody, whether I think I'm gonna win or lose. I will stand up for myself. But I don't want to. If I can talk my way out of a fight, I will. You can call me a bitch, you know, 1,000 fucking times. You talk about my mom, whatever, dude. Like, I'm not a fucking teenager. But there are people out there, man, that you can tell just they ain't got that fucking dog in them and they pretend to be that guy. I have so much more respect for the dude who isn't the hard ass, who doesn't pretend to be. Like, that is probably who I respect the most, you know what I mean? Because, like, if you are that hard ass and you act like that hard ass, it's like, yo, you got nothing to fear about anyway. I still respect you because you're just being true to yourself. You know, if that's how you really are, I respect that. But there's like that weird fake bullshit machismo. Like you can be like masculine and not be physically threatening at the same time. And the dudes who like know that deep down, like I got respect for that. And that's who I try to emulate. Like I'm a big dude. People have seen me get pretty mean before. Some of my closer friends have seen me get into fights. But you'll never see me make that a big part of my personality, particularly in front of people I don't really know. So if that's you, like, don't try to be fucking Mr. Hard Ass. Like, dude, you should grow out of that by the time you get your high school diploma. Like, you should be over that phase of your life. It just comes off as like really immature, fake, and douchey. Don't be Mr. Tough Guy. You can play hardcore without being Mr. Tough Guy, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so this last point, I made up these points before recent news came out, and by the time I post this video, it probably won't be so recent, but that whole anti-flag scandal happened, and that broke my fucking heart. I never got into anti-flag, but, you know, punk and hardcore and all that shit, like, to me, we're kind of in the same community, and there's a fucking stereotype about hardcore dudes, punk dudes, about taking advantage of their female fans. You know, I can't tell you, well, I can tell you, I just choose not to. I can tell you stories about dudes in the scene, in my scene, that are only nice to the 20-something-year-old chicks. They've been a dick to me pretty much since I started playing music, when I've done nothing but show them respect. They pretty much ignore their male fan base unless they've got money for them at the merch table. They'll blatantly ignore younger bands coming up, won't give them any kind of shine, won't try to help build the scene, and then sit back and bitch about why the scene's not working. Yet you'll see them in any cute 20-something-year-old girl or younger girl's fucking comments on Facebook like, oh, don't be sad, you're so cute, like bullshit like that. So, you know, not only just don't be that guy, but like, dude, and I'm talking to the fellas particularly here, it doesn't seem to be as much of a problem with chicks. Just because you're in a band doesn't mean every chick wants to fuck you, no matter how good your set was. And there will be some chicks that want to fuck you just because your set was really good. And you know what, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. Like, as long as it's all consensual, you know, you're not taking advantage of some young ass chick. But here's why I never really felt comfortable doing that. I remember when I was younger, I played a show up in Akron, and there was this chick at the bar who, you know, she went with this dude she didn't really want to go with, but, you know, long story short, this dude bugged her a lot to go on a date with him. She finally broke down and did it. He started to really weird her out, so she started hanging out with me after, and then it was after we played, like, we did really good, so he left and she was still hanging out with me all night. She was a few years older than me, you know, we were drinking, it was good, whatever. But I'm not Mr. One Night Stand, I never really have been. So we go our separate ways. Now, if I wanted to that night, I probably could have went to her house, but I didn't, because again, that's just not who I am. A couple days later, I decided to like text her or whatever, I got her number, and she is just like so disinterested in me. The reason I bring that story up is because sometimes, you know, chicks will get this image of you that isn't really you. It's you that night, it's you doing your thing, but that's not the whole picture of you. And just because she's interested in that part of you doesn't necessarily mean she's interested in you. Again, if you're the type to like hook up with chicks or whatever, like, God bless you, have a good time. Again, as long as you're not taking advantage of anybody, you know, y'all know what it is, like it's a one night stand. Like, I can't really speak on that. That's never really been me. But I personally, and this is my personal opinion, like, I don't think you should be doing that. You know, again, do what you want. I'm not gonna think less of you if you do, different strokes for different folks. But I personally don't think it's right. Like, just allow chicks to like your band. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many females. Ugh. I have so many chicks that come to my show that fucking love us, man. And never once have I ever tried to hit on any of them. At least not since I was maybe in my early 20s. I was probably trying to do that a little more than I'd like to admit. But really, for a long fucking time, I've never once hit on a chick at one of my shows because I want her to feel comfortable coming to see us. I want her to feel comfortable buying our merch. I want her to feel comfortable, like, you know, not thinking that I want something from them or thinking that they have to do something to make me think they're cool. Like, nah, you're cool enough showing up and moshing and having a good time with us. And that's what this shit's about. Plus, again, I'm not Mr. One Night Stand. I'm Mr. like long-term relationship. I would rather have, you know, one girlfriend and one girlfriend only. Hopefully one day have a wife. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my take on that. And that's my advice to hardcore singers. Really, anybody, but a lot of those were specifically geared towards hardcore singers. And I hope, as always, I hope you took something from this video that you can take with you. Like, maybe you didn't agree with everything, but like, I hope there's something in here that you know, maybe made you look at something in a different light. Maybe you learned something. As always, you can follow us on our social medias, at Nervous Aggression Official on Instagram, Facebook.com/Nervous Aggression. We got a TikTok. I don't really upload on there much. I'm gonna try to start. I have some ideas for it. It's Nervous Aggression on TikTok, Nervous Aggression Official, something like that. We got a bunch of shows coming up, mostly in Youngstown, but after this EP drops, we're going to be looking to do some traveling. So if you're not from Youngstown, not from Ohio, and you're watching this video and you want to see us live, see if I'm fucking bullshitting you talking about how good our sets are, comment down below where you're from. I'm coming to your fucking city, okay? Enemies coming out 2023, hopefully soon. I'll have more news on that at some point. Until then, you can check out this video right here in the card that I just put up, Enemies 2023. It's our song Fuck You, played live in Atlanta last year. AJ, Nervous Aggression, Question Aggression, Youngstown, Ohio. I love you all. Thank you so much for your continued support. Let me know if there's anything else you want to hear. Until then, be good. Peace.